This training program has been designed in 10 sections. In the first section, we are going to understand about the brief history about how this quality management system has been evolved over a period of time. In the second section, we are going to understand about the principles of risk-based thinking and how to manage the same. In the third section, we are going to understand about the importance of automotive process approach, families of the processes, process turtles, their sequence and their interaction. In the fourth section, we are going to understand about how to identify the business processes suitable to our present organization business environment. In the fifth, sixth and seventh section, we are going to understand about how to align IATF 16949 requirements, customer specific requirements and statutory and regulatory requirements into our business processes. In the 8th section, we are going to understand about how to conduct risk-based and process-based first, second and third party audits. In the 9th section, we are going to understand about how to establish a non-conformity management process to prevent the recurrence of the non-conformities. In the last section, we are going to review about our complete learning and I shall provide you further resources to improve your knowledge continually. I would recommend the participant to go through the following resources to deepen your understanding. The first one is ISO 9001-2015. This IATF 16949 international standard has been aligned in line with ISO 9001-2015, which is the foundation of understanding this QMS thoroughly. The next one is IATF 16949. We will be covering this requirement thoroughly in this e-learning module. The rules for achieving IATF recognition has been published by IATF. You may buy a copy of this in leading e-commerce stores. This is an excellent resource and this focuses more on the requirements of the certification bodies and their auditors. Before implementing the IATF 16949 requirement, you may have to collect the applicable customer specific requirements from each one of the automotive customers. The next one is the IATF Auditor's Guide is an excellent resource published by IATF which explains the necessary competence expected from each automotive auditors. The last one is most of the time customer provides this information and particularly organization also responsible to obtain and incorporate these requirements into your business processes which are the statutory and regulatory requirements. Before moving further, let us try to understand the background information briefly. During 1990s, automotive supply chains were asked to implement different automotive standards like QS 9000, VDS 6.3, which resulted in multiple audits and implementation, which consumed a significant amount of resources. To overcome from this, IATF had created first edition of ISO TS 16949 1999, which was based on ISO 9001 1994. Later in the year 2000, ISO 9001 2000 was published to have a process approach from the elemental approach. So, the second edition of ISO TS 16949 2002 was in the year 2008. ISO community decided to have a common approach in different management systems like environmental management system, occupational health and safety management system and energy management system and many. So, the third edition of ISO TS 16949 was published in the year 2009. In the year 2015, ISO 9001 quality management system has incorporated risk-based thinking and harmonized with other management systems. Now, most of the management systems will have a common approach from the clause number 4 to 10, which will be discussed in detail. So, IATF 16949 2016 has been published in the year 2016 aligned with the ISO 9001 2015. These are all the overall background information about this automotive quality management system. These are all the overall structure of IATF 16949. There are presently 10 IATF subscribing customers, 5 oversight officers and 5 global oversight training providers. These 10 are the list of IATF subscribing customers. The above are the list of IATF OEM members. The main purpose of implementing a quality management system is to improve the overall performance, which is nothing but to grow in all the dimensions of the business and to have sustainability. In simple terms, we shall not disturb the mother nature and provide a safe environment for our future generations. The ISO 9001-2015 is based on 7 quality management principles. There are customer focus, leadership, engagement of people, process approach, improvement, evidence-based decision making, and relationship management. ISO 9001-2015 emphasize more on process approach. When we discuss about automotive process approach, we'll have a very clear understanding about this. These are all about the overall structure of ISO 9001-2015 based on plan, do, check and act. Clause number 4 explains the requirements about organization and its context and needs and expectations of the relevant interested party. Clause number 5 is the leadership. Clause number 6 is the planning. Clause number 7 is the support. Clause number 8 is the operation. Clause number 9 is the performance evaluation. And clause number 10 is the improvement. Quality management system requirements. Let us try to understand what is the scope of IATF 16949-2016. The first one is to consistently in meeting the customer and statutory requirement. The second one is to enhance customer satisfaction and improvement in the business processes. When we look at automotive, who are all the organizations are eligible for automotive certification process? Design and development, production, assembly, installation and services of automotive related parts, including products with the embedded software. I'll just explain you what you mean by an embedded software. And manufacture of customer specified production parts, service parts and accessory parts. In a brief, the organization who are all manufacturing or suppliers to this organization are eligible for IATF 16949 certification. Cars, buses, motorcycles and trucks on highway. Aftermarket parts and off-highway vehicle including tractors are not eligible for IATF certification. Once we understood about the background information, the next question is who are all the organizations are eligible for IATF 16949 certification. Organizations who are all supplying components to passenger cars, light commercial vehicles, heavy trucks, buses and motorcycles. Manufacturing sites manufacturing, production, service parts and accessory parts in the entire supply chain are eligible for IATF 16949 certification. Manufacturing organizations supplying parts to specialty cars like sports car, ambulances, cash carrying vans, industrial, agricultural, off-highway and aftermarket parts manufacturers are not eligible for IATF 16949 certification. As we discussed, these are the suppliers are not eligible for IATF 16949 certification. Tractors, earth moving equipments, construction equipments and mining equipments. An embedded software is a specialized program stored in an automotive component, typically computer chip or other non-volatile memory storage, specified by the customer or as a part of the system design to control its functions. Goals of IATF 16949-2016. There are 3 goals of IATF 16949: continual improvement, defect prevention and reduction of variation and waste in the supply chain. Once you understand IATF 16949-2016, these are the points you need to remember. Wherever the word shall appears, it is a mandatory requirement. In the standard, if you come across a word should, it's a recommendation, but it is not a mandatory requirement. You may come across a word may, it's a permission, it's not a mandatory. Can also a possibility, but it is not a mandatory, we need to comply. In the standard, you will come across 2 important words called documented information. The documented information sometimes we may have to maintain and sometimes we may have to retain. In the old standard, it's similar to that document control and record control, but it is a mandatory. Then documented process. In the standard you will come across many places, approximately 26 to 27 places you will come across a documented process. We may have to have a documented process which is mandatory. Welcome to this introduction quiz. I request you to go through this quiz to calibrate your knowledge. It will be very helpful for you.